All right, welcome back. Now we got one more trailer that we are going to go and watch. And with this one, this is actually going to be a movie that will be coming pretty soon, actually. As I'm recording this, it's going to be in a few weeks that it shall be coming out. And what's very interesting with this trailer in particular, or this movie that we shall be talking about, they actually released two different trailers. There was one that was released on YouTube, and safe to say that it did not get a positive reaction. And honestly, I can see why. I'm not necessarily blaming the movie itself, but it's more how the trailer was crafted. It did not represent well what the movie is, really. But if you want a better example of how the movie shall be, then crazy enough, you don't go on YouTube, but instead you have to go on Netflix. And by the way, I know some people actually did ask if this is going to be a little too extreme to go and check out. Don't you worry, because this trailer here is actually a censored version where the naughty bits and the swear words, they were actually censored out. So don't you worry about seeing anything or hearing anything that might be nasty. So with that said, though, let's go ahead and check out the trailer that is uploaded on Netflix on the upcoming R-rated animated comedy Fixed.
Oh, yeah, so good. Oh, you are my one and only.
Honey, this is not that.
What do you call it?
I don't know what to call it, but it isn't sex.
And that is Fixed, to which the movie is going to be coming out on Netflix on August 13th. Now, I'm just going to go and immediately say this right now. I understand that this is not the kind of movie that's for everyone, okay? I understand that with the type of humor that it is going, like, the best way that I could describe it is that this is pretty much the dog version of Sausage Party, where it basically goes all out and is very unapologetic in terms of the very cute or very crude and raunchy humor. That, yes, this is very much a lot about sex. This is very much there's a lot of swearing. That it's basically well, no pun intended, and as Idris Elba said in the trailer, the movie is going pretty much off leash and just be as unapologetically be as horny as possible. And from there, I do get it that not everyone is going to enjoy that. Not everyone is going to have not everyone is going to vibe with that style of humor. So honestly, I get that. I will say, though, I'm just going to go and start off by putting out my opinion from what we have seen in the Netflix trailer over here. I will say that in terms of the humor, because the main thing that it really wants to be is a comedy and really go all out with the type of shock humor that it wants to go and present. And not to mention, like, have Bull's balls be dragged around everywhere. I mean, it's not like it's not like in the trailer that we have seen in the one on YouTube where they would go and present it all uncensored. But still, though, I will say it is the humor is mixed. I'm not going to say all the jokes worked out for me, but there were some, I'm not going to lie, that, it's actually pretty funny. I actually did enjoy it. Like, even that final bit, when his, I think, girlfriend caught him having sex with another dog, where, like, the ending right there, that I will give it, was actually a lot of fun. Hold on a sec. Okay, yeah, no, not with grandma. Nope, not that one. Yeah, like right over here, this one.
Honey, this is not that.
What do you call it?
I don't know what to call it, but it isn't sex.
Just caught right in the middle of it, and not to mention just hanging upside down with the only thing connecting to the other dog is just his dick up her, I don't know, like maybe it could be up her ass, up her pussy, or anything like that. I don't know. But, I will admit, there are some jokes here that they're actually pretty funny. And even the actor's delivery on some of the lines, they actually do work out. There are some things that, honestly, they did get me. There are a few moments that did make me laugh, even though maybe not everything I would consider to be like full on funny. But there is one thing, though, that I must say I was actually quite surprised is actually the animation, because this is Sony Pictures Animation's first ever fully hand-drawn animated feature. And yes, there are probably a few moments where you would see in their movies, like maybe short bits and pieces, or especially like in the credits, like the Hotel Transylvania is a pretty good example, where in the credits they would have like 2D animated sequences. But this time around, they decided to go all out with the 2D. And I was surprised to see how the animation is like so smooth. This is like some really good quality hand-drawn animation that they are presenting, especially to go and help sell out on the comedy, especially to show some of the reactions, the way that the dogs would go and move all around. But honestly, I was actually quite impressed with what they have done with the visuals. My one criticism, though, is that I will say it feels weird seeing that Genndy Tartakovsky style design with such fluid animation. I don't know, like maybe it's just me, but there's just something about it with the comedic Genndy Tartakovsky art style. And you would go and implement that with like almost Disney quality hand-drawn animation. There's something about it that I don't know if it mixes as well as I thought. Like, this is one of those cases where I feel like it would have actually benefited if it used more limited animation. That if they go back a little bit more to that style of Dexter's Laboratory, for example, I think, honestly, the animation would be a lot more effective, and it would actually sell more in the stylized look. But then again, like, I know it sounds like a very strange criticism, but that's honestly like just a little piece right there. But that doesn't change that I honestly actually had some admiration for the animation. It actually does look pretty solid. And I mean, nowadays, especially, it's very rare that you would see an animated movie that would have this type of fluid hand-drawn animation. I can't say that it's been a long time, because we did recently get The Day the Earth Blew Up, a Looney Tunes movie. But what they did with Fix, honestly, the visuals were pretty solid. However, there is another thing that I want to go and immediately address. Because like I said at the beginning, I know that not everyone is on board with what we have seen in the trailer. And I know not everyone is excited to go and see Fixed. And whatever opinion you may have so far, however you may feel with the trailer that we have seen, okay, I get it. Maybe it's not for you, and that's perfectly fine. I understand that. I get it. Like, if you don't think you're going to like this movie, if you don't think this is your cup of tea, if this is not like your style of comedy that you want to go and watch, that's fine. Because again, not everyone is on board to go and check out these types of raunchy animated films that is similar to Sausage Party. But the hate that this movie has been getting is honestly insane. Like, honestly, this is the kind of hate that really feels absolutely overwhelming. Like, honestly, this is the kind of hate that you see this movie get, and you're kind of wondering, was this made by Disney? Why the hell are people raging so hard on Fix? Like, why is it that this movie is getting a lot of hate? Because you would think, theoretically, this is almost everything an animation fan would want. Because this is an original animated feature. It's fully hand-drawn animated. It's Sony Pictures Animation. And we're still, like, in the middle of the K-pop Demon Hunters hype. So, of course, so theoretically, there should still be a lot of love for Sony Animation. It's from Genndy Tartakovsky, one of the most admired figures in animation, and it's R-rated to prove that animation can also be for adults. Like, the only thing that is missing is if this movie would be released in theaters, and that right there would have been an animation fan's dream come true. And yet, this is not what happened. It has been getting massive backlash, debatably maybe even more than what Elio has been getting, or what Pixar has been getting with both Elio and Hoppers. Like, this is the new movie that everybody just really wants to go and hate and slam and say that it's like the disgrace of animation and all that kind of stuff. And I gotta say that I am shocked. I am just shocked to see how people are just ready to go and despise this movie and really go and immediately hate it as like one of the worst things that ever happened to the medium. And I just want to go and say right now, the hate has gone way too far. The hate is honestly overwhelmingly extreme with the way that people are treating this animated feature. And you got to keep in mind, folks, this is me talking here. This is from the guy who used to have the reputation of being the Sony Pictures animation hater. This is coming from the guy who does not like the Hotel Transylvania movies whatsoever. Like 1, 2, 3, and 4, I find them to be awful. I find them to be bad. I gave each of them the AniMat's seal of garbage. And yet, this is coming from me to go and say to the cartoon community and to people on the internet that your hate for this new Sony Pictures animation movie from Genndy Tartakovsky has gone way too far. That should go and tell you to go and put up the brakes and say, yeah, maybe I've gone a little bit too extreme with it. And this is not to mention that it really does show that whatever love Sony Pictures Animation has been getting right now, it really does feel fake. Especially when it comes to those people trying to use K-pop demon hunters to go and attack Elio. Because honestly, this really proves that like when people are trying to make those comparisons, mainly to go and slam a movie that they think is lesser and stuff like that, they do not give a crap about the movie that they label as superior. And in this case right over here, they just openly expose themselves that the people hating on Pixar, Disney, and Elio and stuff like that, they do not give a shit about K-pop demon hunters. They don't care about the movie. I highly doubt if they even think that it's good. For them, it's nothing more but material to go and fuel in their hate just as a desperate, cheap attempt in order to get engagement, the same way that you would expect from alt-right grifters like The Quartering or Geeks and Gamers and Nerdtonic and other of those bottom-feeding YouTubers that should have their channels banned. Like, it really is at the point where now it is just shameless that they do not care about Sony Pictures Animation at all, and that they just want to use it as their fuel for hatred. And now with this Fix movie coming out, they don't care who it's from. They don't care who made it. They just want to go and label it as absolute garbage just for their posts on social media and for their videos on YouTube. I even just saw recently, like Moist Critical, aka Penguin Z0, just put out a video calling it painfully bad and just trying to go and jump into the whole grift of it all to go and like fuel more rage baiting hatred for this movie. And honestly, like, it is at the point where it really is shameless with how the cartoon community is going on right now. And honestly, I really feel like just reflecting not just on Fix, but also like the massive hate that we have recently seen with Pixar, with films like Elio and Hoppers, with the Lilo and Stitch live action remake, and even like earlier in the year with the reactions to the Shrek 5 new designs. Like, it really feels like 2025 is the downfall of the cartoon community, at least in terms of their integrity and their reputation. Like, it has really gotten to the point where now their hatred has gone like so extreme, especially with their hatred for like Disney and Pixar and stuff like that. There needs to be a point where they gotta get called out. This needs to be addressed, where now the hatred has, like, it's gone way too overblown. It's way too overwhelming. And it's really a negative point towards the community and also for the medium itself. Like, it's gone too extreme. And really, going back into Fix, the only reason why it's been getting so much hate is because it's not the kind of movie that they want to have. It's not their type of adult animated feature that they want to go and see. And they're just, really, people are just being so unapologetic that they're just hating it because it's not their movie. Regardless of what you may think about the quality itself, you're just upset that it's not going after your taste specifically. That's the real reason why people are just going after this movie without even wanting to go and give it a chance, and would rather use that as a way to not only attack the feature itself, but even going after Genndy Tartakovsky, where some people are even comparing him to John Christopher Lucy right now. Which, honestly, that's like going way too far, man. Like, even, like, I would even say, like, even me a decade ago would go and say, like, dude, that's a little messed up right there. Honestly, it's just absolutely ridiculous. Now, do I think this movie is going to be great? Honestly, not really. At best, it looks like it's going to be a fun comedy, but I highly doubt if it's going to be like best animated feature material right there. But still, I am open to the option that maybe this could actually turn out to be good. Or at least for me personally, this looks like it does have a good chance to be better than the Hotel Transylvania movies that we have gotten since the last decade. So honestly, we'll just go and see how it goes. But before the movie does come out, my God, people need to cool themselves down and be open up that maybe this could turn out to actually be pretty good, because the hate on this is just absolutely ridiculous, and it really does highlight the sheer toxicity of the cartoon community that must be addressed as soon as possible. If you're not convinced with all the blatant stupid attacks that they're going after the Disney movies and stuff like that, then maybe Fix can go and actually help you open up your eyes to see that, no, the problem is not the movies or the studios, it's actually the community just being a little too extreme, and that maybe they should consider taking therapy instead of spending more time on social media. So anyways, with that said, if you are interested in checking out Fix, then keep in mind that the movie will be coming out on August 13th. And with that said, now I would like to go and pass this on to the chat wall. And now I would like to go and ask you all, what did you all think of the Fix trailer that we have seen over here? Are you guys interested in checking it out? Are you excited to go and see it? Is this not your cup of tea? In fact, let me go onto Twitch, and I would like to go and ask you all, will you be watching... hold on a sec, I gotta go write that. Will you be watching Fixed? So this is not about the trailer. This is actually about if you are planning to go and see the movie. So I'll go and write down yes, I'll go and write down no, and see what the audience has to say. All right. If the Hoppers trailer gave me We Bare Bear vibes, this trailer gives me Strays vibes. Remember that movie with Will Ferrell and Jamie Foxx as the swearing dogs? That's what this is like. And as such, I can't say that I'm sold, but I have to give Sony credit for trying something different. The animation is great. There's some good laughs to be had. And the idea of this movie is really a bold swing. I was never expecting K-pop Demon Hunters level quality, but I'll still go in with an open mind. All right, that's fair. And it's honestly kind of funny because with Strays, that's actually a movie produced by Phil Lord and Chris Miller, who are also prominent Sony animation figures. So we'll see if maybe another prominent Sony animation figure can go and do this concept justice. All right, let's see now. I find it so funny that this is Sony Pictures Animation's next film after K-pop Demon Hunters. From a cultural phenomenon to a movie about dogs obsessing with his dick, his balls, actually. Honestly, everyone, I find it gross and really funny. The hand-drawn animation looks fantastic, the voice acting is actually great, and Genndy is not afraid to push that R rating for Fix. This is kind of insane, and this is happening. Dang. All right. I don't know about you, but I am so excited for this film to come out. I mean, the animation in this film looks so good. It's really disheartening when I see those incel man children rage against this film. Like, it won't work with everybody, but they're acting as if it pissed all over their DVDs and Blu-rays, and all of their movies. Like, if Ralph Bakshi's Fritz the Cat came out today, they would all have a collective aneurysm. This is the real reason why companies are scared to try anything new. Yeah, and not to mention, this is also the reason why you don't see many people, like, this is all, like, 2025 is also a statement that shows that this is why we have yet to see hand-drawn animation make a true comeback. Because as much as animation fans claim that they really want to see that return, it doesn't really matter, because you don't really see much of the cartoon community going in to go and watch The Day the Earth Blew Up. And with the way that Fix is being with the way that people are reacting to Fix, yeah, it's not really worth it. Like, they don't care if this is a new hand-drawn animated feature. And yet they're thinking that all the world's problems will be solved if Disney suddenly brings back hand-drawn animation? Why? Honestly, this is why I feel like even if Disney would go make a fully hand-drawn animated feature, they wouldn't go and care less. They're still going to go and desperately try to find a reason to go and rant and hate Disney and just make up an excuse to say that, oh, I don't actually want this. You know, it's kind of like what we saw with Elio. You know, they're going to go and rage and hate it. And no matter what Disney or Pixar would go and say, they're just going to go and twist their words and try to go and use that to attack them and make more rage baiting posts and videos and stuff like that. It's honestly ridiculous. Like, it really is at the point where, again, really the problem is no longer about the movies or the studios or the companies. It's really the community that is the problem, because they don't want to go and manage their anger in a healthy way and just treat movies as movies. Like, seriously, it really, again, it's really like a lot of what I said about the hatred that the Lilo and Stitch remake got. And like, now it's further proving me more correct. Not just with the Lilo and Stitch remake, but now with Fixed as well. And by the way, I just want to go and mention that in the poll right over here, I did see that the majority of you are willing to go and check this movie out, where I believe around 85% of you who have voted said that, yes, you're going to be checking out Fixed. All right, so with that said, let's see what other comments are in here. So let's see what we got. All right. I'll admit that this trailer looks just fine. I'll admit that I do find the animation nice. How I personally do think the humor is a lot more hit and miss with some, excuse me, folks. With some good jokes and some not so good jokes. So overall for me, while I do understand the appeal, it's not really my cup of tea. However, it does not justify the hate this movie has been getting. Seriously, if you want an example, look at Saber Sparks' video using K-pop Demon Hunters to slam Elio. Yeah, exactly. Like, what? Like, seriously, Saber? Like, I understand. It's like I said before. I understand you went through a massive controversy, and that really sucks, and I'm glad that you're able to prove your innocence. But do you really need to make a clearly clickbaity video, like, just to do a stupid comparison of K-pop Demon Hunters and Elio and stuff like that? Come on, Saber, you know that you're fucking better than that, man. Like, why do you even need to go and do that? Is your channel really dying that badly to the point that you need to go and use these stupid tactics in order to bring in audiences again? Come on, man. Again, you should know better than doing that kind of shit. Like, seriously, be a better animation fan than catering to the dumbasses on Twitter. And why are you even on Twitter in the first place? If you even care about animation, you should delete that as soon as possible. Anyways, Honestly, I didn't hate it. I'm slightly more iffy on it, but I love the animation though. And considering that this is coming from Genndy Tartakovsky and that we know very well that you're not a fan of Hotel Transylvania films, it looks like Fix would finally be the better Genndy Tartakovsky directed Sony animation movie for you. Exactly. For me, the Hotel Transylvania films are quite a low bar, and hopefully we will go and see Fix just jump through that. So give me more dogs with balls than Adam Sandler vampires. You know what I'm saying? All right, I think I got time for one more comment here. Let's see. Going from K-pop Demon Hunters to this is the Sony version of animation Twitter gassing up The Last Wish, only to be blighted with Ruby Gillman. I'm not going to knock anyone for liking it, but it really is not for me. I'm actually kind of repulsed by how crass and vapid it is. At least Vivzy Pop has hard humor and a nuance to balance out the vulgarity in her animation. And I mean, that's perfectly fine, man. If it's not for you, that's okay. Just don't go out of your way, like, raging about it like how I used to do in the decade prior. So that's just my little warning. So yeah, it's safe to say that the hate is just absolutely overblown, and I think people are really going too far with the Sony hate. And again, this is me that is saying this, so that really does say a lot. And if you are curious to go and check out Fix, then keep in mind that the movie shall be coming out on August 13th on Netflix.